Okay, I am so excited because we are introducing some of the initial Good Gather hosts. This one of my favorites. When I started thinking about the Good Gather and who I wanted in that space, I was like, "Dear Gregory, what you doing?" Because we have been talking for what, a couple years now, it feels like? I don't know, it's been a while.
It's been a while.
And I've been watching Gregory go out in the world and do some things. And I'm like, okay, there's something here. There's a magic here that I haven't seen anywhere else. And so we've been talking over the last few weeks. We're going to be doing some podcasts together. We're going to be doing maybe some live shows together, but we're going to talk right now about the Good Gather. So, Gregory, first of all, just introduce yourself. Talk about what you do. Tell us a little bit about who you are and like outside of this space.
First off, thank you for the introduction and the opportunity to come serve your people. I am Gregory Rutledge, and what I do is really hard to describe, but I finally found the way that makes the most sense. I help you get out of your head and into your heart so that you can step into your purpose because so many of us are stuck in our heads. But when it comes to businesses, I help them turn missed opportunities into revenue by asking better questions to fix what's actually wrong. And the way I do this is I just listen to people and find out where they are and help them get to where they say they want to be by getting them in motion.
Yeah, we've been talking about like personal leadership. And when we talk about personal leadership, I don't mean like the leaders in a corporation or the leaders of a business. I mean like I wake up in the morning and I kind of go, what do I need?
Mm,
What do I need to be awesome today?
mm,
What do the people in my life need for me to be awesome? And really investing in that personal leadership. And we were just talking about wealth
yeah.
and how wealth is not about money. Talk to me about that.
You know, we tend to think of wealth in monetary value and we forget that there are different bank accounts that we have. We have our personal bank account, our physical bank account, our mental, our spiritual, our emotional, our relational. And we're over here chasing our monetary bank account, trying to fill it up. And if you don't have the foundation of your body, the vessel that you use to do this, if that bank is not full, if it's overdrawn, everything else is going to suffer. And I may even argue if you're spiritual, whatever you believe in doesn't matter. If your spirit is not satisfied, nothing's going to work. So like we have to start with first principles, with the foundation. What you said this before we started recording. Like are you going to play basketball? Are you crafting? Are you playing video game? Whatever the thing is that fills you up outside of work. Most people are so obsessed with work and overworking, especially since the pandemic, since everything's been brought into the home. We don't know when to walk away. We don't know how to have fun, right? We start to feel good about something and then punish ourselves for feeling good, but that is where the wealth flows from. It has to start in here so it can go out. If you're empty and you're trying to pour from that empty cup, you're not going to have anything to give, and people are going to feel that. There's a dissonance. When you are off, everything's off. And I may even add, like if you're building a business or you're building a community or you're building a relationship, your whatever you're trying to build is never going to build outside of you building yourself. They have to grow in lockstep. One
Mhm,
can't outgrow the other.
mhm.
You are all in, right?
We're all in. We've been talking about all in.
Yeah.
And I think, like, this well, like, you mentioned the basketball thing I was saying. I was like the reason why I said this, I was talking to a friend, and he was saying he's been going to go play basketball, and I said, "Oh," like, with a group of people. He's like, "Yeah, I just we just kinda show up at this, like, same time." And I was like, "Oh, that's really cool." I'm like, "Who are they?" And he was like, "What?" And I was like, "But, like, who are they?" He's like, "Just the guys, like, and there's, like, come some girls there, like, we just hang out." I'm like, "But who are they?" Like, "You've never, like, exchanged numbers or gone out for a drink afterwards?" And he's like, "No." I'm like, "So you know nothing about these people, you just show up." And he was like, "God." I'm like, "How long you been knowing like, how long have you known these people?" And it's been, like, months. They've just been meeting, and he's like, "Oh." I'm like, "Have people asked you, like, He's like, "People have asked me things," and I've just kinda shrugged it off. I'm like, "Okay, this week, go. introduce yourself, like learn one thing about these people that you are spending every week with. And he just didn't really think about it. And so he went and he's like, "Oh, these people are cool." I'm like, "Yeah." Like,
Uh-huh.
and so are you. But and they all of them, like, he kind of mentions, like, "Hey, I was talking to my friend," tells them, and they're like, "Oh, yeah, we haven't really done a good job." And like, everyone's just like, "Wow, we have known each other for so many months and we don't know anything. We're just showing up." And he's like, "So now, like, we have numbers, so we know, like, to check in if someone's," because he's like, "It's weird if someone doesn't show up one week, but we have no way of contacting." I'm like, "Wow," right?
Wow.
So we have to learn not only about ourselves, but we have to learn like how we're in relationship with other people. And if we don't set the intention, it gets really easy to let it go. And then we get to a point where we are at such a deficit of either relationships or reciprocity or community or connection that all of a sudden it hits us. And that's where like some people will say like depression just like hit me out of nowhere. No, it didn't. This was creeping up, and you were creating deficits in areas of of your life, and it was okay because you were chasing something else, and and you're told that this is what you had to focus on.
Mm, mm. It's so mind-blowing. I know you saw my face the whole time, but you'd be surprised how often this happens, like, where people just don't think to connect. And a lot of people are struggling with connection, and I'm gonna give a gem right here. I do this thing called the name game. When I show up in a space, I am so curious almost to a fault. I just wanna know about people because I wanna know what other people are doing, what they're dealing with, it starts with, "What's your name?" This is what I call the name game. What's your name? What do you do? What do you love to do? Like, who do you be outside of what you do? Because that's what I'm really interested in,
Yeah.
because that's the thing you're probably letting die that's
You
going
need to get a
to.
better question for that, right? Because you go to, like, a space and they're like, "What do you do?" And you're like, "Oh, sh" like, I know with me, I've got, like, 3 different jobs. I'm like, "Oh, this is gonna get complicated." So I'm like, "Ah, I just hang it." I stumble over it, right? Because I don't
Yeah,
want to necessarily go into a whole diatribe of all the things I do.
right.
So maybe we like, what would be a better question of to ask somebody, not just like, "What do you do?" but like,
Who do you
what
be?
who do
Who
you
do you
be?
be? That's what I asked
Who
them,
do
and
you be?
they're always stumped. They're like, "Oh, that's interesting. I've never heard that question." I'm like,
Yeah,
"Yeah, because we're human beings, not human doings, right? So why are we asking what we do? Who do you be? Who are you being when you are not out, when you're not at this thing, when you're not having to perform, or you don't have the pressure of looking a certain way? Like, are you a musician? Do you like to craft? Do you have a weird hobby that no one knows about? Like, tell me
yeah,
about that, because I want to see how you light up when you talk about that. And then that will help me to bridge the gap on what it is you do and where the gap may be, that you can connect and really ignite that passion. And then what I do is I observe the room. And if there's another person that looks like they want to get in the conversation, but they don't want to interrupt, I'm like, "Hey, what's your name?" And then I pull them in. "Hey, have you met this person?" So we'll use Tim and Monica. So, "Hey, Tim, what do you do?" "Tim is a graphic designer." "Okay, cool. Tim, what's the best thing you've ever designed?" Okay, why did you start graphic design?" I want to know the why. Are you doing it for money, or are you doing it because you really like how things look, right?
yeah. Are we
And
doing
then
things for money or are we doing things because we love it?
exactly. And so Monica comes in, and, "Monica, have you met Tim?" "No, I haven't." Uh, M Tim's a graphic designer. "Monica, what do you do?" "Oh, I'm a marketing consultant." "Oh, cool. You might need graphic design, huh?" "Yeah, actually, I do. I was looking for someone." "Well, that's so funny. What a coincidence." And then I keep doing that until I create this circle of like 4 to 5 people. And then once they're all talking, which was the thing they weren't going to do if I wasn't there, I step off, let them talk, and I do it again. And before you know it, I've got all these crop circles and everyone in the networking space is connected. And by the time the event starts, they think I'm the host. And the host didn't even talk to anyone. And
Nice.
that is scary.
It isn't scary. It's actually a really great community. And I think this is something we need to like look at a little bit more, is that sometimes the hosts, because they were an initial person who started, who like invited everybody there, they feel like they have this like huge responsibility to gather and to hold the space. But there actually might be something else that's going on that is even better. So the great part, and we've talked about leadership about this, right? Knowing
Yeah.
when to share that center stage.
Yeah.
A really great host knows when to let the party
You know
happen,
what?
right?
You were so right. I said that's scary, and I'm like, you know, the host did provide the space for
Yeah,
that to happen. So
yeah.
they did their work. Now they can
And
lean
then you
back
went
and
in
share
and
the
did what
center
you did.
stage.
A really great
Yeah.
host says, "I'm inviting Gregory because this is my thing. I'm making sure the snacks are there. I'm making sure that the space is safe for people." Gregory comes in, and guess what? Guess what? That's what I'm looking at from the good gather, because I can't do all the things. I can't be in all the rooms. I can't make sure that the infrastructure is there, that the things are moving, and that we have the connections and the people coming in here and host every single room. So that's why I said, Gregory, come play in this space with me, because I can't do it all. And I want to share this center stage. I want to say, okay, how do we bring the very best people in here? So we started talking about a weekly gather that we think will be really good. And it might morph and change. This is just our initial idea. And if you are hearing this and you think, actually, what I really want to be in the room with Gregory is, please post it below, because we're building this. We're building this everybody in this room. But what we were thinking is that in our week, when we're busy being
Mhm.
all the beings in our week, there's something that we want to do or create or focus on that would make life even better, that would make
Mm.
our business even better, make our like leadership stuff that we're doing, maybe our community building, maybe our relationships, maybe our own personal leadership, like we were just talking about. What's the one thing? Now, here's the thing. You might come into the good gather being like, this is the thing I have to do. And Gregory's like, is it? Because what
Mm.
we sometimes do is we focus on this thing, but Gregory has this like really, really great skill of, again, he said listening and really hearing what you're trying to do. And then asking the good questions to get you to what you really need to do. Now, you might still do the thing that you came into, but maybe you do it just a little differently. Maybe you do it with a little bit more ease. Maybe you do it in community. Maybe you do it with a completely different mindset or framework on it because you needed that part. And so what we're thinking is we have like this weekly gather, and Gregory basically invites people in. We'll get to know everybody says their name, what they're doing, how they're being.
Mhm.
And then we look at what do they need to do? What's one thing this week that would make your life even better, or make your relationships even better, make your business even better, make your career even better, make your visit to the basketball court even better? It's really not a structure of what, it's the structure of who, and this practice of being intentional and focused so that we get to the things we want to get to outside of all the pressure. So you just come in this room, you really don't have to worry about all the things, all the how, all the what. You just get to sit with Gregory and everybody else in the room and practice being with a
Mm.
focus.
That just sounds amazing to me to be able to sit in with them. Like it's a service. It's I'm grateful to be able to serve, but also to be able to commune with the people and find out. See, because in my book, From Waiter to Greater, I wrote about like the greater framework is 7 principles, 7 truths that if you practice them anywhere, you can level up from anywhere you are. And one of those principles is the R, reframing limiting beliefs. If you're in a house that is like, I don't know, modern, and you have these 21st century, no, I'm thinking 13th century frames with the gaudy gold on them, but everything else is like modern clean lines. Does that frame really fit? And that's what most of us are doing right now is we have these gaudy weird frames on things that we believe, and they don't fit the current ecosystem. Like, go to work, or go to school, get a good job, work 40 years, retire, enjoy your retirement, get a pension, whatever. That world doesn't exist anymore. Today, at least 5 different AI companies, at least, were created that created billionaires. And AI has changed completely since we started this podcast. And something new has happened. And some new CEO has left the company because
Yeah.
AI is ending the world. Like,
We'll get off this recording and the whole world will be different.
exactly. And so we got to reframe, like take the belief out of the frame you have put it in, out of the stronghold, right? The circumstance. What is surrounding you while you're staying still is that frame, and it's a belief system that has served you. Thank it for what it has done for you. But it is time to let it go, because you have to put a new frame. I'm not going to have to. I'm not going to should on you. I can smell should a mile away. What I do is listen for should. And I ask, should you? Who told you that? Like, where did that belief stem from? Because it's not yours. And a lot of the beliefs that we have, they were placed on us at a time where we didn't have words to give it meaning or an option to deny it.
It's
And
rooted a lot of productivity, right? So, like,
yeah.
we are laborers, we are creating something for someone else. And even like our focus on goals, if we're so focused, I think this is where we get a lot of stress and anxiety. So it's like, okay, if I have this goal, I'll just make it say I want to make $10,000. Okay. And I think this is how I'm going to make $10,000. And if I focus so much on that, I miss the everyday stuff that could actually lead me to $10,000 without so much work. Same
Or
with like losing weight or building relationships. If we get so focused on that end goal, I'm not saying I want you to commit to it. If it brings you joy, commit to it and actually have intention. But we need to be able to pivot. We need to be able to like have this flexibility. And that's where I'm thinking this good gather really works because we're bringing it in. It's just weekly. It's just, we're not, this isn't the goal that you're doing in 90 days. This isn't the goal you're doing. It might lead to it. I love a
mhm,
good work back plan. I love
mhm,
a good, this leads to my weekly, this leads to my monthly leads to my quarterly. I love that.
mhm.
But I don't want you to think about that. I want you to come into this space and enjoy this time with Gregory and everybody else that comes in here and just be like, this is the one thing this
Mm,
week
mm.
that's going to make it even better. It's going to make it greater.
Hey, amen. Come on, girl.
And
So,
I know your brand. I know your
yeah.
messages. I got you.
Well, and the good gather, it's good, right? And I love the word good. It is not the enemy of greater. See, these are baby steps on the path to greater. Greater is not a destination. Greater is a journey. It is all about the journey
Yeah.
because the past doesn't exist. 11-year-old me isn't here in the room with me, right? And 50-year-old me is not here yet. So all I
I mean,
have,
unless you believe that time doesn't actually exist, and in all those timelines, 11-year-old and 50-year-old are existing right now at the same. Anyways, I digress. Continue on, sir.
let's go, girl. Let's get meta with it. Okay, well, in that case, I'm in this timeline
This
until I'm
timeline.
not,
That's fair.
right? And in the good gather, what we want to do is we want to help you take baby steps because a
Yeah.
lot of people are looking at an
It's living in
elephant.
the moment.
Yes, that's
So when
it.
you said it's not good isn't the enemy of greater, it's because good is right now. Good is this moment that we are experiencing together in this moment right now. Greater's over here. We're moving towards greater. We're always creating the greater in our lives. But the good is right now. This gather, we get to practice being in this moment, touching the virtual grass. Some of the rooms have lots of
I
virtual
love.
grass, lots of virtual plants. I like the greenery, but like we get to practice being in this moment with the people around us. And we all get to share that moment, whatever it looks like.
That is my favorite. I mean, we didn't script this. We didn't plan for
We're just
this.
making this up.
This is literally us
Like I said,
being us.
if something I've said or something that Gregory said has sparked you, and you're like, what if we had a good get? Post it below because we're building this. We're designing this together. And even this gather that Gregory, we don't even have a title for it. Do we have a title for it? Do we know what it's going to be called? We don't know yet. If you also think of like what this should be called, post below to help us. But this gather that we're thinking of, it could change by the end of the year. It could morph because the people who come into the room and make this their intentional space will define it. They'll be like, you know what would make this even greater is if we did this. And then we get to change it. We don't have to be like, nope, this is the format. No, let's build a culture. Let's build a community where we all get to be in it and we all get to build it.
You know, a lot of the people that are super successful, especially like personal brands you see on social media, they make it look so easy. Like they just were self-made millionaires and they did it all by themselves, but they
Yeah.
do not show you the countless
There's no
amount of
such thing as
community members.
self-made.
No,
You
at all.
who you meet, it's who brings you along, it's who invites you into the room, it's who sticks up for you when you make a mistake, and that's something we don't talk a lot about. One thing
Mm,
I do appreciate is Richard Branson talks a lot about his mistakes, but he also talks about who was there when he made the mistake. Who was there to go, "Okay, big time. That was a lot of money," or that was a lot of people you know, mad. What do we do to make it better? We don't talk a lot about that. We talk about being alone when we make mistakes, but who's around us when we really F up?
mm,
And a lot of us don't have that.
no. And I don't know about y'all's family, but I love my family to death. I'm not talking bad about them, but the people who are familiar with you are the hardest ones to get to support you and get you out, like allow you to outgrow that image of you that they've made, right? So you have to get in a community with people you don't know and meet new people in order for you to step into your greatness, because even Jesus had to leave his hometown to start his ministry. If the man that time is based around, BC AC, right?
Yes.
If he had to do it, what makes us think we're going to do it, by getting family and friends from our childhood and from our college or whatever, high school, to support us when our greatness literally terrifies them, right? Like, we're shaking the foundation upon which they've laid, and everything we do to succeed reminds them that they had that same opportunity and they didn't take it. And so it just reminds them of what they haven't done. And they're not going to try to rise to meet you. When I wrote this book, I lost a lot of friends and I got cussed out by a lot more people that I thought were supporting me because I thought I was better than them for writing a book. I'm like, no. I achieved something and I had to keep telling the story over and over again. And I was like, well, if I'm going to keep telling this story, I might as well highlight the principles of why this story worked for me and tie it to the story so it's not just about me, because you don't know enough about me to care about me. I'm not writing a biography. I haven't done much like for people to care. No, what's in it for you? What's in it for you is to remind you that in the end, it is all about service, right? How do you serve wherever you are? And I think it should be a requirement, Marisa, for people to at least wait tables for 2 years in their lives. Everything I learned that got me to $250,000
Retail.
a year, or retail. Oh, and retail.
And
1
yep.
year retail,
I
one
worked
year
in food
waiting
service and
tables,
retail for sure.
and fast food. Start with
Yes.
fast food, go to
Yep.
retail, go to waiting tables. It will change the entire way you deal with life and approach life. You'll learn to think on your feet, pattern recognition. When your money depends on your mood, you learn to adjust real quick, right? And everywhere you go, that wealth, those different banks we were talking about, depend on you and how you show up and serve. I
I will tell you though, I worked retail where we were allowed to have a bad day and we were allowed
mm,
to be grumpy. And I'm going to tell you this, it was probably one of the best work. I mean, there was a lot of problems in that workplace, but one of the things that he was always he was a small business owner. He was always very adamant was if you're having a bad day, that's okay. And we had regular customers that, like, they'd come up and be like, "You okay?" I'm like, "Not okay." They're like, "What's happened?" "I just had bad sleep." "Oh my god," and it was a different way of building relationship because they didn't expect me they expected me to give them their food. They expected me to take their money and to make and to, like, wish them a good day, but they didn't actually expect me to show up when I wasn't my best.
wow.
And I actually think it was an amazing opportunity for me as a like, an 18, 17, 18, 19-year-old as I worked there to learn that I could still be in relationship with people and not have to completely mask, not have to completely be like because they were if they like I did have one woman complain. She's like, "Well, she didn't smile." And and my boss was like, "Did you smile?" She was like, "Pardon me?" He's like, "Well, how much did you smile back to her?" And she was like, "Well, I'm the customer." And he's like, "And she doesn't deserve your smile as much as you deserve hers?" And I was like, honestly, I'm not a smile like, I don't like, I'm not I have a really nice resting face. I don't smile all the time just because it's just not one of those things in my face. Some people have, like, those faces that light up. I
Yeah.
got a lot of cheek happening here, I'm expressive, but smiling isn't really the thing. And I was like, sorry, like I will give you a smile. And she's like, well, it's not going to be genuine now. I'm like, not every smiles are going to be genuine if you're demanding them. And my boss was like, mm-hmm, mm-hmm. And he's like, do you want your burger? And she's like, no, I do want my burger. And he's like, all right, that's what you came here for. He's like, if you want smiles are free, you got to go to McDonald's. It was so nice to be backed up. And again,
Wow.
the focus was like the focus was not necessarily trying to pretend that we were someone else for that
This
$6. You know what
that's
I mean?
so powerful though, but you see how that laid a foundation? I
Mhm.
don't think you would be the Marisa you are today if you didn't have that
No, I had
experience.
really great bosses as an early adult that really we can talk about this. We'll talk about this on our podcast. But honestly, like the reason why I am the way I am is because I worked for a whole bunch of people who just did not give a care about societal norms.
Is this in Canada? Because like, you noticed my face as you were talking about this. I'm like, "Where is this happening?"
Yeah, in the
Because
US, you guys expect a lot from your servers.
oh my
A
god.
lot, right? And then it's like your tip depends on it.
I've had 289 jobs. I've lost count. And on I have a handful of good jobs, good bosses, good environments, and good cultures that I've been a part of. One of them was at Cheddar's, of all places. It was like 4 or 5 different men managers. Not to say that there's anything wrong with women managers. I had just never experienced an environment where it was all men managers or all male management. And it felt like I had fathers, uncles, and brothers. And they were so lax, so chill. I made mistakes that I could have and should have been fired for. And they were like, "Did you make a mistake?" And I'm like, "Yeah, it was a mistake. Don't make it happen again." And I'm like, "Okay, I see what you did there. Thank you for the grace. Thank you for the mercy. I've been called out. It won't happen again."
Yeah.
And like they were understanding, like you said, that you're not having a good day. That's cool. Hang it up out at the door, do your best here, and we'll give you free food. Or, go sit down in the back, go
Oh,
scream
no.
in the
My boss was
walk-in,
like, "You having a bad day? Do you wanna" he would say this, "You wanna go scream in the" like, almost every
scream
day,
in
he'd
the
be like, "You wanna go
walk-in.
scream in the ice cream cooler?" I'm like, I gotta go.
It's
I
a
gotta go." And he's like,
thing.
and he's
Yeah.
like, "Feel better?" I'm like, "I sure do."
Yeah.
He never even, like he didn't even bat an eye. Like, he's like, "Do you need to talk about it, or do you need to go scream in the cooler?" It's like, I could maybe both, but I'll go scream it out." No,
Mm.
it was never like it's a little I mean, it's changing now because 'cause we're getting a lot of that US culture, I would say, like, in retail, because I worked retail for 10 years, definitely there was expectations, and it's like, we were all pretty, like, blunt. We're like, "Listen, we've been working, like, 8 hours, like, we're tired. Like, we didn't even get a break today, we're tired. You're gonna get your clothes in a bag, and we're gonna celebrate the heck out of it, but, like, it might not be the most cheerful experience." And I think Canadians are a little bit different, like, than the US because you guys do expect a lot out of your service people. Now, we could go into we'll save this for the podcast because I wanna get this into the Good Gather. I want people to come into the Good Gather not needing to perform, and I think this is really important that we have this conversation, and if you're watching this and you're like, "I don't know if the Good Gather's for me." This isn't a performance space. This isn't a place where you have to mask and put on like everything's amazing because this drives me nuts. We're in business Facebook groups and everybody has to be perfect all the time. And it is exhausting. It's absolutely because you don't want, what if there's a potential customer watching you have a bad day? They're not going to work with you. No, we're going to practice being in community with people who have bad days. We're
Can
going to
I
practice being in community with people who literally are not going to turn on their microphone. They're not going to turn on their camera. They're just going to be in the room with us and not producing and not, because even in Gregory's, I don't want people to come in and be like, I got to get one thing done. No, you just get to focus on you in that space. Because maybe the best thing for you is to do absolutely nothing that week.
preach? Preach, girl.
Productivity needs to be re examined. Because we are built on capitalistic performances, right?
Mhm.
Productivity, gotta get this done, gotta get a gain, gotta get all of this stuff. Uh-uh. No, we're gonna practice just being. There might be a focus, there might be an intention, and you get to choose whether that's it. But if you just come in and you just like declare yourself, I just need to be in the company of other people who are doing things, good.
Let's gather.
Let's gather. Let's make it good. Let's share. Let's just be okay without having to produce all the things, even in the thing that where we're like, we just want you to focus on one thing this week because that might have been it. That you showing up for Gregory's Good Gather might have been it.
Mm, mm, so good. Let me say this. When money is the metric that we measure by, all morals and all of those things that hold us together at the core can go out the window because the only thing that matters is the KPI of did we make more money? And that's why we're in the predicament we're in now. Everything is about making more, but more is a thirst like drinking from the ocean. It can never be satisfied. When is enough enough? I got to $250,000 a year. I swore that once I got to 80,000, I'd be okay. At $250,000, I was still living check to check, buying more than I needed, living above my means, and I
Yep.
was trying to get to 500,000, then a million.
Yep.
My mentors at multiple, what, 10, 40, 50 million, and he's now looking at making 100 million and getting into billions.
Yeah.
When
We
is
have
it going to be
trillionaires now in the
enough?
world.
That's what
Trillionaires.
right. But for what? For what?
For what?
Why? And
Like, it doesn't even make sense to me why these exist in our society. And what this might be another good gather we need to do is where we actually talk about what does money mean to us
mm,
and are we chasing to be a billionaire or a trillionaire even though it may never happen for us, and what does
right,
that actually mean?
right.
We need to like have look at our set points, right, and how we are living and how we maybe we need like a more of a, what is our baseline for good living gather.
And the problem, I love that is a good gather we need to do because there's so many misconceptions about money. And one of the major ones is, like you said, when I'm chasing that thing, I want to paint a picture for you. If I have water running into my hand and I try to grab that water, what's going to happen? I'm not going to get any water. It's going to go over, it's going to go around, it's going to seep through, but I will not get it. You have to hold your hand in a bowl so that you can gather the water, right? So if you're chasing money, you're chasing billions, you're chasing millions, they're running from you. I promise. You focus on serving the most amount of people, and you can criticize billionaires like Elon Musk, Jeff Bezos, all of this. They have
Elon's a
created
trillionaire now.
opportunities.
He's not even a billionaire, he's a trillionaire now.
Okay. Criticize the trillionaires if you must, but I want to remind you, even as much as you hate them, they have provided a service and a fix for your life that and so many people's lives. They've created something that's changed the world. And so that trillion came from serving. And so you flip it
Okay,
on its
but
head.
wait. They have also created that by extracting from the people that work for them. So they provide a service, and this is where people love to hate Amazon, or they're like, because if you're disabled, Amazon is amazing. And even here in Canada, they've really challenged the way that we have food deserts, especially in northern Canada, and made it more affordable to it's not perfect, but they've really basically made like the government of Canada look really stupid because they're like, we can deliver food up there, why can't you? But they have done it by the like atrocious habits of employment.
And it's not the billionaire's fault. It's the stakeholders that invested in those companies because
No,
they
it is
are
absolutely 100% the billion, or they're not getting an escape here. I will never because they had the ability to set up those foundations from the beginning. Because all the billionaires and the trillionaires that we have, again, were not self-made. Don't let Jeff's story fool you. He ain't self-made. His parents
no,
helped a
no,
lot.
no.
And so this is the thing is like we look at these folks and we forget the network and privilege that they had. They could have changed the foundation. It's like our governments where they'll campaign on like government reform or political reform or voter reform. And then once they get elected and realize that's how they got elected, they ain't changing it, right? But they could. And so I will say this, billionaires do not get a pass. Until we have billionaires who are starting to change the system as they do it.
Well, that gives us space to go where we need to go.
And this is when I think this would be a great good gather. I think this would be an amazing way to start talking about especially with the business owners. If you're the business owners in here and you're like, actually, I think I can do things differently. Let's talk about changing the economy as we get bigger, as we grow. It's not always going to happen when we're in the beginning and we're just trying to, like, this is where the I think we'll have AI gathers too. We're going to have some AI gathers, but I think this is where the conversations where people will absolutely tear down a small business owner who is using AI to give them an advantage and be like, we're boycotting you and I can't believe you did this, and not going after the major corporations who are also using AI and holding them accountable. We're still
Mm,
operating within a classism of where it's really easy to go hate on the folks who are literally trying to grow and get up there and are maybe making the changes as they go, but then we hold them down, right? And we don't go after the government, the laws that need to be put in, like all of this. And I think we should talk about, I think this might be a good, see, this is why we
good
have
one.
these. We're
That's a good
building
one.
this as we go,
Yeah.
because I think there's a really great opportunity there as we build this community, is where we gather and we can watch movement happen. We can watch momentum happen as we craft actual strategies to build a better economy for everybody.
Have you seen the Netflix documentary Buy Now?
No. What is it?
It is about consumerism and how it's killing our planet. And the UX designers like myself who were a part of that early on in the beginning, that didn't really question just because we could do something, should we? Well, they woke up once they saw the damage it was causing. And I actually had the opportunity of speaking with Marin Costa from the documentary. Reached out to her on LinkedIn. We actually had a conversation. She is actually doing this. She stood up to Jeff and made him implement the climate change thing that he did.
And
Now,
that's what we can do in a good gather, is we
yeah,
can actually say, "Here are the tools we have. Let's do it."
hmm, I need to reach out to her and have her on here because I think what she's one of those people that's making the changes. She's standing up to the powers and she's succeeding. And I think she would be an awesome addition to this. Actually, there's so many people that are coming to mind now. They're just flooding in my mind.
And that's it
Let's
too. If you're watching this and you're like, "Oh, wait, I think I know someone who should be in the good gather." Invite them in. Invite them to watch this or come into the Facebook group, come in, because we are going to gather the very best in the world. And you don't have to be running a business. You don't have to be leading a huge movement. You might be just the folks that are like, want to be in it. They want to make the little changes in their life. They want to back up the other folks. Like, that's the thing. We need power. We need community. We need the folks that are going to be like, "Hey, that was a mistake, but that's okay because we have each other and we can figure out how to fix this and then move forward." And that's what we want to gather in here. It's like this is my agenda, my secret coalition, my cabal that we're finally gonna create actual change in the world because of the people in the room.
You keep saying I wanna. We're
I'm doing
doing
it.
it. We're doing it.
I'm doing
We're
it.
doing it. It's done. We're here.
Okay, before this goes on forever, because we
Yeah, I
literally
gotta I gotta call at 12:30,
you
so
gotta
I gotta
go
hop
for
off.
40 minutes. This was just supposed to be an introduction, but if you watch this all the way through, also let me know. I wanna know who had this in the background for the 40 minutes of Wonderless, and if anything in here sparked it and you're like, "You know what? Actually, I wanna lead a good gather around this," or, "I want to be a part of this," reach out. Post below, send me a DM, because we are, like I said, gathering the very best. We want to make this really accessible, really enriching, really nourishing, and start to really practice being in community and practice building really great relationships with each other. You never know who you're going to meet. The synchronicity factor is going to be big. We see these in the catalyst all the time. You never know who you're going to be in the room with, and
Mhm.
all of a sudden create a whole separate idea together, or find somebody that backs you up, when you need it. And that's, we want to build this in the we want to strengthen, we want to look at this, and we want it to be whole. We want to look at the body, we want to look at the mind, we want to look at our daily practices, whatever we're doing, and create the communities that support that.
Yes, we do. And I just wanna encourage you, for those of you that are hesitating, do not let the numbers fool you. We have a lot of followers. That doesn't change the fact that we're human, approachable, and will actually respond to you and have a conversation with you. Marisa can attest to this. I just randomly called her on, Messenger, and she was like, "Did you mean to call me?" I'm like, "Absolutely."
Somebody butt dialed me. I'm not gonna lie. It happens. It happens all the time. Sometimes I just my phone randomly calls people. I don't even question. I'm like, "Oh, hi. How you doing?" But
Yeah,
yeah,
butt
no,
dials could be those
like,
opportunities that lead to something else, so
we
yes,
talked for, like,
take
what,
them.
hour and a half? I had to go marry people. We probably would have kept talking.
Yeah, yeah, kinda like now. So, I wanna see you in the good gather because gathering is good, so come on in. The water's nice.
Okay, thanks, Gregory, and thanks everybody for watching this.
Thank
We've
you.
got more showcases, more hosts that I'm gonna be bringing to you. I just wanted to give you a sneak peek of what we're building here and get you excited. Like I said, if there are people that you know, come invite them in here. There's no obligation. We're not making anybody join. It's really an accessible price. If you're having problems getting to it, also message me. We'll figure it out. We have folks who have already come and said, I'm willing to, like, I can buy if other people are having struggles, financial struggles, I will pay their way. We just want to make sure that this is financially viable. It's going to cost us to run this. It's going to cost us for infrastructure. We just want to make this the easiest way that people can get together and be in the room together. Thanks everybody for watching. Thank you, Gregory. It's always so much fun talking to you. We could probably talk for 8 years, and it
For
will
real.
not be enough. But we have other things we have to do, and talk to other people and do all the other things and gather with a bunch of people. But thank you very much for being here. I appreciate it.
Thanks for having me, love.